There's a place you want to get to. You know what it looks like. You've read about it, listened to people who've been there, and spent considerable time thinking through exactly how you might arrive. And yet, here you are, still thinking. This is one of the most common traps in personal development, and one of the most seductive. The belief that if you just gather enough information, study enough examples, and think through enough scenarios, you will eventually reach the point where you're ready to act. The problem is, that point never comes. There is always more to learn. There is always another variable to consider. And so the thinking continues, and the starting doesn't. Here's the thing. You cannot think your way to a place that only action can get you. Hey there, it's me, Core, and you're listening to Exercising Self-Control from Fitness to Flourishing. Most of us have told ourselves some version of this. I just need a little more information. Once I understand it fully, I'll be confident and ready. This feels like level-headed thinking. It feels like intelligent preparation, but it is, more often than not, a sophisticated form of avoidance. The reason is simple. Thought is boundless. When you imagine what it would take to get fit, to build a business, to transform a relationship, your mind can generate an almost infinite number of variables, options, and contingencies. It's lightning fast and has no ceiling. You can spend hours, days, years inside that space and never exhaust it. Ask me how I know. Action is different. Action is constrained by reality. You can only do what you can do right now in this moment. One workout, one sales call, one uncomfortable conversation. That absolute constraint is a gift. It forces you into contact with what is actually true, rather than what you imagine might be true. Even if you have access to the best coaches, the most experienced mentors, and the most thoroughly researched advice, none of it will apply to you in exactly the way it applied to them. You are unique, not in any vague motivational sense, in a precise, practical one. The totality of your life experience, every habit, every part of your history, every physical and psychological pattern means that your application of any principle will be completely your own. No one else's results can fully predict yours. This is multiplied exponentially when the goal is complex. Achieving a level of fitness, building something profitable, sustaining a relationship. These are not problems you can solve in your head. They are territories you have to enter physically. Consider something as straightforward as a diet. You can research it thoroughly. You can understand the science, read the testimonials, and feel genuinely convinced it's the right approach. And then you try it. Not only do you hate it, but your body responds negatively. That is a lesson no amount of thinking could have delivered. It required contact with reality. That is what action gives you. Feedback. Real, specific, irreplaceable feedback that belongs entirely to you. Look at your own life. Think about the periods when things genuinely changed. When you grew, when something shifted, when progress was real. I'd wager it was when you were doing something, not planning to, not researching how to, actually doing it. And think about the periods when things stalled, when the start-stop cycle reasserted itself, when momentum disappeared and the gap between where you were and where you wanted to be felt wider than ever. What stopped? The action stopped. And when the action stopped, so did the learning. This is the cycle worth breaking. Not by thinking harder about how to break it, but by acting before you feel ready. Because readiness, in the way most people imagine it, is not a prerequisite for action. It's a product of action. I love philosophy. I love the intellectual pursuit and exploration of ideas. This podcast is a testament to that. But I'll tell you something. The only thing that has ever truly changed my life is action. Messy, rough, mucking about action. Not the right information at the right time, not the perfect plan finally falling into place. Action, taken before I was ready, taken before I felt I had myself all sorted, taken in the direction of something I cared about, with the understanding that the path would only become clear by walking it. Stop waiting for the thinking to be finished. It won't be. It never truly is. However, you will only truly raise the quality of your thinking by raising the quality and consistency of your action. Choose a direction, take a step, let reality teach you what no amount of research ever could. Would you like to take more action? I built a system for you. On April 2nd, I'm launching a school community called Exercising Self-Control. Inside, you earn your ACT score by stacking days you don't break. Miss a day, it resets to 0. Start your streak, raise your standard, leave your excuses behind. The link to join the waitlist is in the show notes. That's it for today. Catch you next time.